"Excuse me, how long before my men can get back to work?" Cross didn't answer, but instead looked away at the green, bloated face of the young man in the bucket of the nearby JCB digger. Wrapped in a sheet of builder's polythene, he had been stored in a row of garages that were in the process of being demolished. Blood and bodily fluids, released post-mortem, were pooling in the creases of the polythene. It looked like a vacuum-packed piece of meat on a supermarket shelf. The man's eyes had the dull, lifeless look of a fish that had been on ice at a fishmonger's for too long. The garages were behind a set of 1950s high-rise council flats in Barton Hill. Full of the promise of a better life back then, they now were a depressing blight on the landscape. Cross turned back to the contractor and studied him for a couple of seconds. He was a ruddy-faced man in a waxed barber coat. He looked like he spent a lot of time outdoors when he wasn't shining the backside of his trousers on a bar stool at his local pub. Cross noted the use of "my men," designed to give himself some sort of elevated status. "There's a dead man over there. A young man. Murdered would not be a too far-fetched deduction even at this early stage," Cross said. "I know, and I'm sorry about that, but I need to get on," the man replied. "We'll need a statement from you and all the workers who were on site this morning. Then they can go home," Cross said. "Go home? What are you talking about?" the man spluttered. "There's been a murder. What was your building site has, by the very presence of a corpse wrapped in polythene in the bucket of one of your diggers, become a crime scene. So unless your workforce has an interest in police procedures and forensics, I would be grateful if they could vacate the scene as soon as they have given their statements. If they are interested, they could stay and observe from behind the tape," Cross said. George Cross, that is Detective Sergeant Cross of the Somerset and Avon Police Force, to give him his full title, wasn't in the least bit surprised by the man's apparent insensitivity to the young man's recent demise. His bizarre belief that work could go on as normal, as if nothing out of the ordinary had happened, was not uncommon with people in such situations. What the contractor was struggling with was the fact that the policeman's offer to stay behind and observe didn't come across as the least bit ironic. It was as if he genuinely believed some of his workers might have a secret fascination for the workings of the police in a murder case, which, he wasn't to know, Cross actually did. He was attempting to behave politely and normally with this man, along the lines his partner D.S. Ottey had been trying to teach him. Cross was incapable of irony and sarcasm. The contractor turned to D.S. Ottey, who was standing nearby, for help. "Let's start by getting your statement down," she said, preempting anything further he might say. Cross walked back over to the corpse. He was more interested in the environment around it than the corpse itself. He'd have a closer look at that in the morgue. "Mr. Morgan, how long have these garages been out of use?" he asked.